When Daniel first mentioned it, I laughed. Not the light-hearted kind, but the sharp, cutting sort that shuts a person down. Seriously? I'd scoffed, shaking my head. You think I'm jealous of Ethan? He's my best friend, Daniel. Don't be ridiculous. His jaw tightened, but he didn't argue. He just gave this slow, quiet nod, one that said everything he didn't dare put into words. Then came the silence. That thick, heavy kind of quiet that presses on your chest. Later that night, I vented to my sister, rolling my eyes as I told her. Daniel's being insecure again. He thinks Ethan's some kind of threat. She nodded right along with me, and that little bit of agreement felt like validation. It made it easy to brush Daniel off, to convince myself I was right. Ethan had always been around after all. He was the person I called when things went wrong, after breakups, bad workdays, lonely evenings. Even in those first fragile months of dating Daniel, when everything between us was still new and uncertain, Ethan had been my comfort, my safe place. I never thought about how it might look. Ethan's messages came constantly, and I always replied, instantly. Even when Daniel and I were out to dinner, I'd answer. I'd laugh at Ethan's jokes while Daniel sat there in silence, a fork halfway to his mouth, pretending not to notice. We had our own language, Ethan and I, private jokes, little looks, hugs that lingered too long. They all faded when Daniel walked into the room, but I told myself it was nothing. Harmless. Friendly. Deep down though, I knew it wasn't. A few weeks later, Daniel tried again. His voice was calm but steady, his eyes serious. Sophie, he said. It feels like you're giving parts of yourself to Ethan that should belong to us. I rolled my eyes so hard it hurt. You're overreacting, I snapped. He's just a friend. Stop trying to control me. That's when I saw it, a flicker of something in his face. Not anger, not sadness exactly, just something breaking. I mistook his silence for surrender. I thought I'd won. I didn't realize what I'd actually lost in that moment. The changes started small after that. So small I barely noticed at first. He stopped asking where I was going, stopped waiting up when I came home late. The man who used to notice every detail, a new dress, a change in perfume, the smallest shift in mood, now seemed distant, detached. I told myself it was good, that he was finally relaxing, giving me space. But it didn't feel like freedom. It felt like the walls had gone hollow. Meanwhile, Ethan was still there, calling, texting, always wanting to talk. And I leaned into it, almost out of spite. If Daniel didn't care, why should I? I laughed louder, stayed out later, shared more than I should have. But the more I poured into Ethan, the colder my own home became. Dinner turned into silence. Nights ended with Daniel turned away. The space between us growing wider every time. Then came that Friday night. I came home late again, keys clattering onto the counter, and froze. Daniel was sitting in the living room, a suitcase beside him. Daniel? I said, my voice cracking. What are you doing? He looked up at me. Not angry. Not even hurt. Just calm. Empty. I can't do this anymore, he said evenly. I told you how I felt. I won't keep begging for respect in my own marriage. Panic hit me like a wave. Wait, you're leaving me? Over Ethan? Seriously. He shook his head. It's not about Ethan. It's about you. You pushed me out of my own marriage. I've been a stranger here for months. I'm done. The room tilted around me. My voice came out desperate, trembling. Please, Daniel, don't go. I'll stop seeing him. I'll change. I swear, I'll fix this. He stood up and gently pulled his hand from mine. I gave you so many chances, Sophie. I begged you to see me, to see us. But you only saw a jealous man. Now I finally see myself. I deserve better than being an afterthought. And just like that, he lifted the suitcase and walked out. The silence that followed was unbearable. I sank onto the couch, my mind spinning through every moment. Every time I'd laughed at him, rolled my eyes, dismissed his pain. Every time I'd chosen someone else's attention over his love. My phone buzzed on the table. Ethan again. I didn't even look. For the first time, his words meant nothing. I had spent so long believing Daniel would never leave, that his love was unshakable. But love has limits. And I'd crossed them one thoughtless word, one careless laugh at a time. By the time I finally understood, it was too late. The man I once called overprotective, possessive even, had only ever wanted me to see him, to choose him. And I never did. Now, in the silence he left behind, I realized the cruelest truth of all. The man I thought would never leave was the only one who truly loved me.